Hey everybody, this is Mr. Hirst. Just got some other updates, set of announcements for you. Key phrase we're going to be talking about a lot right now on this video is pending the restrictions being lifted. A lot of the things we have to say to you right now about how we're going to wrap up the year, getting insurance back, how are we going to hand out Letterman jackets, what's the show going to be next year, how are we going to deal with leadership tryouts, drum major tryouts. We've got some ideas, we have a framework, some of it we have a pretty good idea about. But a lot of it is going to be dependent on the restrictions being lifted. A lot of it has to do with what does the governor say, what does the Livingston Parish Public School District say, and then what specific guidelines within those things do we get from Mr. St. Pierre and Walker High School. But here we go. Hold on tight. I'm going to tell you everything that I can about how the end of the year is wrapping up and a couple things about planning forward to next year. First thing I'm going to talk to you guys about is just wrapping up the 2019-2020 school year. That involves getting instruments back. That also kind of transitions into checking out instruments for those of you that are returning, getting seniors cleared, doing all of those things, getting Letterman jackets, getting awards from band awards night that we aren't able to have, and all those things. So here's how this is going to work. Walker High School via Mr. St. Pierre, in conjunction with whatever restrictions are lifted from the governor and from the Livingston Parish Public School System, are going to have a day where students are allowed on campus, current grades 9 through 12, to turn in textbooks, instruments, anything that you have to do that you would normally take care of to end out the school year. What we are hoping to do is to use that day to be the day that we get you guys to turn in instruments. If you have instruments, if you need to check something out, we'll do that. The school is going to have a schedule in place that will take into account whatever social distancing guidelines are still in place. You may have to wear a mask. I don't know any of that. But our plan is to try to do that in conjunction with whatever day the school sets for you to come back on campus to get anything that you may have left, to turn in textbooks. So that way you have one day where you come up to the school, you'll turn in your school instruments, you'll check stuff out if you need to do that. You'll get a chance to walk in and clean out your cubby because we're going to reassign cubbies. You will not have the same cubby next year. If you do, it will be a total coincidence. We reassign those every year. So we will have a day in conjunction with the school when you can come up to the school to take care of signing things in, get things that you need, clean out your cubby. And we will announce that as soon as we get any information from the school district about that. Next topic, band awards night and senior awards. I know those are two things we typically look forward to. So a couple things. One, we will obviously will not be able to do our band awards night in person. So Mr. Sigmund and I are going to make a video that will debut. We're thinking we may even do like a Zoom watch party where we watch it together. We can watch reactions, and which we will announce who the award winners were. We'll do letter jacket presentations in that video so that you can see all of those things. And then, in conjunction with what I just talked about, that day where you'll come in to turn in instruments and check out instruments and clean out your cubby, our thought, the plan, is that we'll do that awards video. You'll know who got the end of the year awards. And on that day when you come to turn in your instrument, take care of all those things, clean out your cubby, you'll be able to pick up an award if you got one. For those of you that got letter jackets, that will be the day that you'll also be able to get your letter jacket. Senior awards, and I'm talking about the senior awards that they pass down. Freshmen, we'll explain this more in detail later, but seniors, those of you who have received awards, you can hand out an award, you can pass that on. If you are making up an award, everybody look at this, you can make up one award. You don't get to make up 5, make up 1. Some of you have received several over the years, and so you may be giving away 2 or 3, but as far as one that you create, you can create 1. Mr. Sigmund is going to set that up as a flip grid. You'll get on there, you'll do your presentation flip grid. Mr. Sigmund is going to set that up the way we did auditions, where nobody else will be able to see it. We will download those, put them into one big video, and share that with you, and we can all watch that video. Maybe do that as a Zoom watch party or something together as well, so we can see that and we can do our best to enjoy that moment together. So seniors, find those senior awards. Remember, you can come up with 1. Okay, moving on to next year, going forward. Couple things, leadership applications and drum major candidates. Those of you that are doing those 2 things. You should have already submitted your leadership answer on Flipgrid. We're about to start going through those. The big thing though, as most of you know, a lot of you want to be drum major. We only have 3 drum majors. So typically we look at all those applications. We get an idea for how we think people are going to fall. It's easy for those that aren't going to try out for drum major. We can kind of slot those people in. But really, we have to wait till drum major tryouts are done, and then we know who those 3 people are that will be drum major, and then we kind of slot everything in and around after that. All right, so for drum major tryouts specifically, we normally do that after school. There is a live component, and there is a component of you conducting to a recording. Our hope is that when these restrictions are lifted, that we can have the drum major candidates on campus and do that audition in the band room. Our thought is that you could come in, and if it's just the 8 to 10 people that normally try out for drum major, you would just play for each other, assuming that we can do that within whatever social distancing guidelines are still in place, and then you would conduct the live portion to a recording for us. Our thought is that would take place in late May, and then once we make the decision of who the 3 drum majors are, we will complete slotting in where everyone else falls on the leadership team who are going to be officers for us for next year. Once we know a specific date that we are able to do that, we will get with you. Drum majors, there will also be a Zoom call probably, and in order to explain to you what the drum major tryouts are, to go over a few things and allow you to ask us questions about that. Other thing, leadership training. We typically have an officer training day. We had something set with Mr. Mark Mitten from Parkway High School coming down. Of course, everything is on hold because of the COVID-19 restrictions. That again, once we know what that looks like, we'll have a date, we'll come up with a training day. So we usually have 2 days in May. One where all of the incoming freshmen come and the officers, and we have a day where we play a little bit, but mostly we just get to know you guys and introduce you to what being in the Walker High Band of Legacy is about. And then typically, it's usually on a Thursday, everybody that's going to be in band the next year's on campus, and we meet each other, we read through our warm-up, and we typically read through part of our show that day. It's a really fun day. It's one of the highlights of the year for me every year when that happens. Obviously, we won't be able to do that. Our plan, our hope, again, pending restrictions being lifted, is to do those 2 rehearsals in the evening, probably in June. The thought would be maybe a Tuesday night, 6 to 8, it's just incoming freshmen, and then the Thursday would be everybody. Again, that's all very tentative based on what government restrictions allow us to do. Obviously, if we're doing them in June in the evening, some of you may be gone on vacation, and there's nothing we can do about that. We're just doing everything we can to try to have a sense of normalcy, to try to get us ready for next year. While I'm talking about that, band camp, as far as we know, band camp will start on July 20th. We're planning on that. If we find out something the contrary, we will let you know. But we're really hoping and looking forward to that working out. So hopefully we'll have news back on those things for you.